What's up everybody, Kier Gomes here, and welcome back. Today's going to be a pretty good day. We're going to be taking a look at a deck of cards that, since the release of it, I think has kind of flown under the radar, and it's one that I thoroughly think I'm going to enjoy reviewing. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new alphabet playing cards by ManoSanta, or ManoSanta. ManoSanta? I think it's ManoSanta. I picked this deck up off of Art of Play, and I don't know where else it's available, but it's a really interesting deck, so we have a lot to cover. Before we get started, please do drop a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And without further ado, intro.
Let's go.
So there's a lot of things that make this deck really interesting. Conceptually, this is a very unique deck. The reason for that is because this deck was designed with all of the card backs being a different design. But before we talk about that, let's take a look at the tuck case. The front of the tuck case is actually meant to be held sideways, and you can see it says ManoSanta alphabet, then it says 624 playing cards. The 624 almost reminds me of the 6006 that you would see from anyone, and this deck definitely looks like it would be an anyone worldwide deck, so I don't know if it drew any inspiration from that, but it definitely looks like it did. One side of the tuck case says alphabet in big blocky font with that kind of cream colored background. The other side has space to put like a signature, which is kind of cool actually. Like if I were to give this deck away and I wanted to sign it, I could just sign it right there. The bottom of the deck just says alphabet. The top of the deck has these kind of almost like $ looking designs. You can see it's actually a hand with a snake, which looks really, really cool up close. The back design kind of hints at the back design of the deck, but it is not the back design of the deck. But you can see it's just a bunch of jumbled letters, almost like alphabet soup. It says 624 and then has some ad copy about the company that produced it, which is ManoSanta, which is based out of Mexico. Inside the tongue flap, it says A to Z, and it's done in this kind of rust red color and has these cream colored small tongue flaps. Nothing on the inside of the box, so let's take a look at the cards. All right, now your back designs are gonna look similar to this, but every card back is different. So they're not marked to my knowledge. I did check on the internet, but I also looked myself, inspected each card to see if I could find a marking system, and I can't. So safe to say these cards are not marked. However, you do get a nice thin white border with a black outline and then this beautiful metallic royal blue. It is metallic, which looks great. And then it's a bunch of jumbled alphabet soup type letters. And then on the back of every card, highlighted in red, is the name of the company, which is ManoSanta. The cool thing is every card is different. So because the letters are all jumbled around, the red highlights are gonna be different on every deck, or on every card, on every card. So it's always gonna be something different. No two cards look alike. It's fully custom. And I think that that's really interesting. I mean, you see nowadays, you see some decks that have the different card back for every card. But for something like this, I think it really looks cool because of the contrast. So because of the red and the blue, like if I riffle through the deck, it's almost like watching a cartoon. And I really, really enjoy that concept. Looks really cool. Now for people with OCD that don't like one-way back designs, these are not only one-way back designs, they're different for every card back. So can be kind of a mess, or it might help. So I don't know, but I like it. The deck doesn't make for super interesting fans, but it does look pretty nice. If you are somebody who likes to buy decks that have very elaborate fans, this deck may not be the one for you. The back design though is beautiful, I can say that. Nice and simple ace of spades, standard bicycle indices, and it says ace of spades in the middle, and it's been, again, highlighted in that red color. Almost looks like a snake or a worm. It says ace of spades. Very interesting. I'm not the hugest fan of that. I do like my ace of spades to have a spade pip on it. There might have been a little bit of an opportunity there, but in general, I understand the vision and I can appreciate it. You're not really going to get any jokers, but you're going to get enough ad cards to, I guess, suit as jokers or sub in as jokers. But one of them looks like this. Juego de Manos, Este Villanos, and then it's just a bunch of guys wearing a top hat there and like a reflection, which makes the shape of just one top hat. So that's pretty cool. I live very, very close to Mexico, and my Spanish is really not that good. I would say my fluency in Spanish is probably like 10% or sub 10%. So I'm not gonna translate that, but if you're a Spanish speaker, let me know the translation for that down in the comments. The other ad card that you get has the name of the company written a bunch of different ways and crossed out in red in all ways but one. Your other ad card looks like this. It's kind of an old caricature of a hand. It says 624 in the corner and then says La Mano. Your other one looks like an ad card that came straight out of an Anyone Worldwide deck. It says 624. It's kind of the exact same as the back design of the tuck case. Not the back design of the cards, the back design of the tuck case. Very interesting, I guess. Other than that, the majority of the cards are completely USPCC or bicycle standard. There is some customization on the courts though, so let's talk about that. You can see they look very, very similar in terms of the number cards to bicycle, but there is some customization on the courts. You can see the color scheme is all red, black, and yellow, and the outline of the faces and the like eyes and nose are in red on the diamonds and hearts, which looks pretty cool. As you can see, this looks like something that maybe Gemini would do. So maybe there's a lot of inspiration here drawn from other creators, which there's nothing wrong with. Suits, spades, and clubs look a lot more standard because the faces and the outline is all done in black instead of red. So as you can see, these ones look a lot more standard to what you would see on a bicycle deck, and then these ones look a little bit more updated to match more, I guess, the theme of the deck. Overall though, I kind of like it. I mean, as most of you know, I'm not the world's biggest fan of custom royalty cards or custom court cards, but I think when it's subtly done and tastefully done and it matches the theme of the deck, then it works out, and in this case, I'm into it. I really like it. So that's pretty much gonna do it for the overall aesthetic of this deck, but let's switch angles now and talk about how it handles. All right, so in terms of the handling, this deck is definitely printed on crushed, I would say probably crushed bicycle stock because it is extremely thin. So it does feel really good, as always with USPCC. Feels very soft right out of the box. The cards fan very well, and I really like the metallic blue. I wish the camera could pick up the metallic a little bit better. Maybe you could see it better like that. So it looks good. From the photos, not my photos, but just like the photos for the deck, like on Art of Play, they don't really look super metallic, but in person, definitely a little bit more so. But it looks really, really cool, very interesting for sure, especially in things like spreads when you get some of that red coming through. The back of every card is completely different. That's okay, this deck is meant for cardistry anyway, so not a huge deal. The cards spring very well. Nice and easy. Not getting a lot of resistance there, but they do still feel very snappy, so let's check that out. Yeah, so as you can see, extremely snappy cards for sure, and I like that a lot, it feels good. Here's what they sound like in a dribble. You can definitely hear how thin they are. One more time. If I had to compare the way that this deck feels to another deck that you might own, these definitely feel very similar to the first playing cards, at least the V1. And I would say they also feel very similar to maybe like the DKNG Wheels decks, and specifically the red ones. The red ones have this kind of softness to them, and these cards definitely have that same feeling. If you found it for the indices, this is what it looks like. So nothing special because of the standard indices, but it does look really good. Not bad. Let's see how they faro. As you can see, the cards definitely faro best from top to bottom. Let's give them a few shuffles, see how they feel after they're broken in. The only downside with cards that are this thin is that typically they don't last that long. After a few shuffles and a few like pressure moves. They'll pretty much look great in flourishes no matter what, but they don't last as long as you know, maybe like a casino grade stock, like a premium stock. However, the satisfaction of handling a deck of like crushed bicycle stock playing cards does bring a lot of joy to me anyway. Thin cards feel very, very nice. They're very satisfying to play with, just unfortunately, they don't last as long. As you can see in movement, if I do some Sybil cuts, the cards look really cool, very interesting with the different placement of the red ink. And there you go. Well guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode and my review of the Alphabet playing cards by ManoSanta. If you're interested in picking up this deck for yourself, it is very limited, but it is still available at artofplay.com, so I will leave that link below where you can check them out. Before I go, I just want to take the time to thank all of you who are subscribed to my channel. We're really getting close to 2,000. When I hit 2,000, I'm going to do a giant giveaway too, so if you didn't win the last giveaway and you're bummed about it, I completely understand, but stick with us because I will be doing a giant giveaway here very soon to celebrate getting closer to that 2,000. All that being said, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day. I know I will. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Let's go.